Currently planning this video the night after the Jays had a web gem type play from Vladdy in which he got a double play from literally letting a fly ball just drop, got 8 1/3 innings of 4 hit 1 run ball from the pitching staff, and had 6 chances to bat with runners in scoring position as they fell to the Reds 1-0. I don't know if you've seen it, but every time the Angels lose a terrible game like this, people love to talk about what incredible feat Shohei accomplished, and then at the end state as the Angels lose. And when it comes to when we lose, it feels like it's not because we were dominated from start to finish, but the fact that we gave the other team 9 innings to take their chance, which is exactly what happened in Friday night's game when Encarnacion Strand took Jordan Hicks deep to walk it off. And sure, coming out of the game, you could be mad at Jordan Hicks. And me personally, I'm not the biggest fan of using him in the 9th inning just yet because I don't think he has earned that trust. But in reality, 90% of the blame has to be on the offense. After all, this is the 7th time they've been shut out in the last 50 games, including a no-hitter against the Detroit Tigers, who ranked 19th best in terms of earned run average. The Jays have averaged just 4.44 runs per game this season, and when you take out that 20-run victory over the Rays, it's down to 4.33, which is 21st best in the majors, even lower than teams like the Colorado Rockies and New York Mets. And of course, taking out their best game is going to make it look worse, but if you put up all your runs in one game and lose the rest, which is exactly what the Jays did in that series, is it really positive? This lack of offensive consistency has cost the Jays many games already, and now they find themselves half a game back for the last wildcard spot with the Mariners firing on all cylinders. I honestly think it's time to say the Blue Jays are in crisis mode. There's a podcast I like to listen to called Blair and Barker on Sportsnet, and one of the guys made a great point. Until this offense can prove that they can score runs consistently, we should be going into games hoping to win 3-1, 4-3, or maybe even 6-4. It's such a huge turnaround from 2021 and 2022 when the Jays offense ranked towards the top in runs per game, and in those years they did have some help from guys who are no longer on the team, like Marcus Semien, Teoscar Hernandez, and Lourdes Gurriel Jr., but they've added guys like Brandon Belt, Kevin Kiermaier, Whit Merrifield, and Matt Chapman in the past couple of seasons who aren't having terrible years. But when we look at guys like Vlad and Springer, who are supposed to be the best in the lineup, obviously excluding Bo here because, well, Bo is amazing, but anyways, Vlad and Springer are two guys who have had extremely down years. When looking at their numbers, Vladdy's slash line is in jeopardy of falling below his rookie year, and George Springer, whose average and on-base percentage are somewhat close to what they were in his first couple of years with the team, has a slugging percentage that is over 100 points lower than normal. These guys are supposed to be the biggest run producers in the lineup, except they've lost all of their power. In terms of slugging percentage, Vladdy is ranked 74th in baseball. That's 7 places below a guy named Ezequiel Tovar, and for Springer, he's ranked 110th, 2 places below MJ Melendez. Please let me know in the comments if you are familiar with these two guys because they are nowhere close to being household names, and yet they are faring better than both Vlad and George in a very important stat. Now for the figure that is going to put in perspective how this offense has been wasting the game's best pitching. If the Jays scored 5 runs per game, which isn't too crazy judging how they scored 5.22 in 2021 and 4.78 in 2022, then their record would go as follows: 19-9 in March and April, 12-15 in May, 19-6 in June, 18-4 in July, and 11-4 so far in August. Of course, there were 6 games that can't be determined because the other team scored 5, which means the Jays' record would be 79-38. Could you imagine if we had that record? We would be talked about like how the Braves are right now and easily be in first place in the division with a lot of control, all from scoring just 5 runs per game, which would rank them as the number 6 offense. Which brings me to my last point and the reason not to give up on the Jays just yet, and that is anything can change from day to day. I know it's corny, but it happened to Bo Bichette just last year when he had a 715 OPS and sub 300 OBP as late as August 20th before he kicked it into second gear and finished the year with a more than respectable slash line. That could be the Jays this year. They have more than enough star power to get the job done, and combine that with the best ranked pitching in all of baseball means that this team is still a scary threat if they can squeak into the playoffs. And we've seen it in the past few years. The wildcard Nationals won it in 2019, the wildcard Braves winning it in 2021, and even just last year when the 89-win Padres made the NLCS and the 87-win Phillies surpassed all expectations and made it to the World Series. And what do all these teams have in common? Well, they started to play their best baseball late into the season when their backs were against the wall. At one point, the Nationals were 67-56, the Braves 68-57, Phillies 67-55, and the Padres 68-56. The Jays' record is 67-56. That's why you shouldn't quit on them just yet. And if you are one of those people who have thought about giving up on them already, I hope I've changed your mind just a little bit. But anyways, let me know what you think about this offense going forward. And also, make sure to subscribe to see Jay's content all year long, and I will see you in the next one.